for me, there's a natural fit there with Barry and Rangers in some capacity. And actually, I'm surprised it's not happened by now when you look at all the different changes that have taken place at Rangers. And again, I'll go back to the point that I find most impressive about Barry is he went right in at the ground floor and get his hands dirty, and part-time wages and part-time training hours, but a full-time job. And that's the way it's got to be. So his commitment and his love of the game isn't in doubt. He's a talented manager. Yes, it's not going to plan at Alloa, but it was only a couple of weeks ago that look at the performance that his team put in against Celtic. Yeah. When you look at that, getting it back to 2-1 and having a wee go the last 10 minutes. So when you look at all those things there, I'm sure there will be another opportunity for Barry. Like I say, I'll repeat my point. I hope it's, with the greatest respect, it's at a higher level. And why shouldn't it be at Rangers? Why shouldn't there be something there? Now, I don't know if it would interest Barry, but even if it was to go in and try it and see if it was a fit together at an academy level. Like, can you imagine if you're 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 years old and Barry Ferguson's taking you under his wing, or try to convince a kid that Rangers is the best place for his development when you've got maybe half a dozen top clubs chasing you, sitting down with their parents, and you've got Barry Ferguson. So listen, there's all these sorts of different things where I think that Barry and Rangers can be a really good fit for it. It might just be short term, might just be a 6-month thing, whatever it may be, it might be longer, but I think there's something there where you'd like to see the two of them get together and at least give it a try.
At Rangers under Walter and Archie, they put you through everything, didn't they? You were up, you did everything. They would be hard on you. It's only 5 years since you gave up playing. Do you think it's changed with players in general now? Not just
it's
everywhere.
different. It's totally different.
Society's changed.
Yeah, back for when I started out, it was a hard school. But do you know what? It was the making of me. It was tough at times. I'll no lie. At times I was coming back as a young apprentice at 16, thinking to myself, I don't know if I want to go back in here. But do you know what? They've done it for a reason. And I look back, and that was the making me as a person and as a footballer. Getting guided under guys like Walter Smith and Archie Knox and John Brown and John McGregor. It was brilliant education, brilliant apprenticeship for me.
School of Knox.
Yeah, it was. It was very tough at times where I wasn't allowed to train because I maybe get sent off in a youth team game. They were saying, right, that's not good enough. If you want to be a Rangers player, you need to act in a certain manner. So it was a bit of punishment, but also it made you learn and it made you grow up very, very fast.
Can a manager still be like that with the players now? I think it's like life in general.
I think they've got to know. I'll be honest with you, I don't think they can be the same as they were 10 or so years ago. It's totally different. Yeah, I don't mind that. Do you know what? I liked when I was just told straight to my face, honest. It's not good enough. Sort yourself out. Obviously in a different tone, in a bit of a different language, but I didn't mind that. I got a kick out of that.
Tell us about the one you told us just before you came in, when Walter said to you, because you'd played a few good games and then you'd won that was a wee bit off. Tell us about you might be playing for another
Rangers.
There's
so many stories about that. Listen, if you don't sort yourself out, you'll not be playing with Glasgow Rangers. You'll be playing with Cambridge Lang Rangers, and that was a wake up call. Do you know what I done then? It made me go and work even harder, do double sessions, go into the gym. I wasn't really big into the gym, but I wanted to go and make sure that no disrespect to the junior level, but I didn't want to go to that level. But things are different, a lot different now. And I think it's missed, I'll be honest with you.
It's on the Cathcart line, isn't it? Instead of going to Govan, he could have been going to Cambridge. Like, I love that story. Walter saying,
and by the way, I can imagine Walter saying it. But do you know what?
Straight face.
You know, when Walter's saying that, he knows there's a player there, and it's about his prices, the man management of bringing the best. Okay, you've had 4 or 5 good games. You've got a long way. I know you're going to do it, but every now and again, there's that, as you said, that wee boot up the backside gives you a wee jolt, and you've kicked on again. You've gone away that next week, thought, right, that's the demands, that's the standards, I'm going to reach them.
And also getting brought out the limelight when you go and you burst onto the scene, everybody thinks, right, that's you there. But they done a brilliant thing. They took me back out and I went and played with the youth team in the reserves. And again, that made you think, you're not there yet. There's a lot more hard work to be done. And no, look, I couldn't have asked for a better apprenticeship. What
age were you at that point?
Well, I started at 15. They took me out of school early. They were worried about me, the size, because I wasn't growing. And I wasn't really doing well at school, if I'm honest with you. I was always in trouble. And they took me in at 15, and I was apprentice right up until I was 18. It didn't matter how well you were doing, they still kept you on the apprenticeship. And it was the best grounding, I'll be honest with you, that I ever had. And I think that's missed in modern day football with a lot of young players. There's unbelievable talent in Scotland, but I just think the way things are operated now at a younger level is no good for them. It's no good for their development. They need to know that instead of getting it all straight away, you've got to work to get it. You've got to work, you've got to show that graft. And I think that's a problem now.
Just turning up is not enough. And it's not just in football. I think it's in many walks of life that some people think, I've turned up for work. It's what you do during that time.
Everybody does an apprenticeship if you think
of course,
about it. Back when you were in the media, you had to make cups of teas for the older guys. That was the same as us at football.
It was more like pouring them a large half, I think we used to do.
But we had my job was making tea and toast and having to I never washed. It was all Cathy in the laundry. It was, but I had to fold.
But by the way, it wouldn't just be a case of making a cup of tea and a bit of toast. The tea would have had to have been right, and the toast would have to been exactly how Walter and Archie won it. So it's not just about just making any old tea and toast. It's the standards. It's reaching the standards that the manager demanded every day.
I must have done 3 or 4 trips up that marble staircase, because the kitchen was up the top,
up on the left,
and with the big, remember the old metal. Is it, what would you call it?
An urn.
But they bring it down, and you would put 4 or 5 tea bags in it, and by the time you walk for the top of the stairs into the staff room, it'd be Archie would open it, pour it, nah, it's stewed, get it away. So you brought them down like a yo-yo, and by that time the toast would have been soft.
Bing.
So you had to be on the button. So it took me a good 4 or 5 months to learn how to deal with having the tea perfect and the toast and butter perfect.
Tell Alexa to launch Go Radio or listen on the Go Radio app.